progress that I've made. So I've made the cuff on this sleeve. The sleeve was already done, just had to do the cuff, and then I've done this much of the sleeve. So I don't think that's going to take too long to finish now. I think it's one of them days today. I've got housework to do, I've got everything to do, everything to catch up on after being at work yesterday, and yeah, I'm at home on my own, kid free, and it's lovely and quiet, and all I want to do is craft. So I think I'll do that. So today I have decided to put down my knitting and pick up a pattern that I want to make. So I am making the Magnus cardigan by Megan Makes Do, and I am making this to wear for the East Anglian Yarn Festival because they're doing a bit of a make along, and they've got a knit and crochet pattern that people voted on to make as part of a make along. So because I know how to crochet, I chose the crochet pattern, and it looks like a nice pattern really. Starts with the bottom, which is the ribbing, which I'm working on now. And why did I choose black yarn? It's very hard to see. So that is what I'm working on today. I don't know how long this will take. I done my measurements and I'm making a size large. I tend to buy larger clothes, to be honest, because I like a baggier, looser fit. So the pattern does have a gauge swatch. I'm not doing a gauge swatch and just hoping that it fits. So the black yarn I'm using is from Aldi, from their yarn event last year. It's in an Aran weight. And the pattern actually says like a medium 4 worsted weight yarn, which sort of equates to an Aran weight yarn. And then for the colour to go with that, I'm pairing it with like a pink tweed, which is again an Aran weight yarn. So hopefully they work well together. The pink tweed has sort of like black specks in there, or like, you know, black tweed bits. So I think that would go quite well with the black contrast colour. As I said, I'm working on the ribbing to start off with, and it requires quite a few rows actually. So for the pattern, I have 137 rows of ribbing to do. Hopefully that'll work up quickly. Yeah, I've done this much so far. So I'll just carry on with that and see how far I get up to. I realise that I'm a bit of a procrastinator when it comes to crafting, because I need to make myself a cup of tea. So, cup of tea being made. I'm probably not a crafter that can time how long it takes me to do something, because I simply come in the kitchen to make myself a cup of tea, and I saw the hob and saw it was dirty, and I was like, oh, I'll clean that. So I cleaned it. At least I'm getting the housework done, hey? Not that you really wanted to see that, but you know, this is real life. It's what I do on a day-to-day basis when I'm crafting. I get distracted. So let's get on with that cup of tea. That's my progress so far. And this is the pattern I'm working from. I've highlighted each of my stitch count for my particular size, and I'm currently watching a podcast or a YouTube video. I did go to the Aldi yarn event. I know I said in one of my podcast episodes that I was going to be a bit more mindful of the yarn that I buy. Well, I mean, it was too hard to pass up on, and I do have plans to do a few Christmas craft fairs at the end of the year. So I did purchase these with that in mind. So I'll show you the first things I got. At the Aldi yarn event, they had lots of this baby yarn. This is like a variegated pink colour. So per 100 grams you get 95 meters approximately, and this is 100% polyester. So this yarn is like a chenille yarn. Aldi calls it baby yarn, but yeah, it's really soft like chenille. So I bought 2 skeins of these with baby hats in mind, because the one that I had used in this sort of yarn, not this brand of yarn, I think it was in the Jelly Baby yarn, so that hat that I made in that type of yarn sold. So I got 2 of these to make baby hats with. And then along the same lines, I bought this yarn. Again, I got 2 skeins of this. Oh, bye darling. Bye. Anyway, where was I? So I purchased 2 skeins of these, again for making baby hats. I don't know if I'll make the baby bear hats or the baby hats that I make chenille yarn with, or the pattern that I use chenille yarn for. And then I got 2 skeins of the variegated green. So again, baby yarn, you know, chenille yarn, and this is 100% polyester as well. So I purchased these not with baby hats in mind, but maybe like a amigurumi sort of crochet Christmas tree. I thought that might be nice. This is sort of like greens, whites, you know, minty green tones. We'll see. I might just make hats out of this as well. And then along the same lines, I purchased 2 skeins of the white baby yarn. I purchased these to make amigurumi snowmen with. Obviously not the right time of year for that, but towards the end of the year, yeah, I can make some plushy snowmen with this. 2 skeins, so a couple of snowmen maybe. And then I purchased some of the ombre yarn. So it looks like this, starting sort of light, going to a darker blue. So this ombre yarn is 80% acrylic and 20% wool. So it does have a little bit of natural fibre in there. I purchased this with a view to make a hat out of, maybe with the knitting machine. I only purchased 2 balls of this because the last Aldi event, I didn't get any of this sort of ombre yarn. I don't know why, maybe it was the colours that I didn't like, but yeah, I like blues and I thought I'll give this a try. So the weight of this yarn is, so I can't see on the ball band what weight of yarn this is, but it says 100 grams, 175 meters approximately. Looks like Aran weight yarn maybe. Aran weight yarn is the yarn that I use on my knitting machine, and I thought that might make a bit of a stripy look with a hat. So just in case I didn't have enough, I purchased 2. So yeah, we'll see how they work up. And then something a little bit different from Aldi, which they didn't have at the last event, and that is the roving yarn. to me, when I hear roving yarn, I imagine like a really thick strand of wool, but this isn't thick at all. You can see a bit of a halo there, you know, a bit of a fuzz. But yeah, this roving yarn is 100% acrylic. You get 200 meters per 100 grams. So I guess it's like a DK weight. Does it say what weight it is? Ah, it says a medium 4 weight. So a medium 4 is like Aran, but I don't know if you can see there. Yeah, it's I'd say this is DK, but yeah, it's lovely and soft, really soft. I've got 3 balls of this. It's like a bit of a variegated blue. It's got blues in there, whites, sort of grey blues. But yeah, I purchased 3 of these because I am designing my own patterns this year. I thought maybe these could be something that I use for those patterns, you know, to test them out and that sort of thing. And then I could potentially put that on my Christmas craft fair stand, so it's not gone to waste. And then along the same lines as the roving yarn, I got a pink version. This is a really cute sort of baby pink, not a hot pink, but you know, like a darker pink. I just thought that might look nice in like a baby blanket. I recently did last year the Hugs and Kisses blanket. Yeah, I think that would look quite nice. Again, 100 grams, 200 meters approximately. And I got 3 balls of this as well. So all in all, that was quite cheap and cheerful. So I spent £24.84 on all of that, which was a bargain. So obviously Aldi does the yarn event maybe twice a year. This one was a little bit earlier. This one was last week, so you know, end of January. They usually have it sometime in February and then again in September. So yeah, keep a lookout for the next one. The last one that they held, I think it was September, October, it was very disappointing. I think I only purchased a few colours, and that was a black and like a purple Aran weight yarn, and then yeah, a couple of navy blue DK yarns, which yeah, quite boring if I'm honest. I managed to make a few things out of it. This time I got a few different projects in mind with this haul. So these balls of the roving yarn were £1.99, bargain, and the ball of baby yarn was also £1.29, and then these ombre yarns was also £1.29. So yeah, bargain if you ask me. So as I said, I will be using this for projects for my Christmas craft fairs at the end of the year, and I will also be using some for pattern designing, you know, just until I'm happy with the pattern, and then I can go ahead and use, you know, nicer yarns. I'm not saying that these aren't nice, it's just I do have a bit of a collection going with the merino wool, and I do want to use some of those up. So yeah, I think initially when I'm testing my patterns, you know, I'll stick with the cheaper yarns, and until I'm happy with the pattern design and everything, I'll go ahead and, you know, skein up some of the merino wool. So yeah, that was my haul. I'm losing a little bit of light here, so I've had to put the overhead lights on, so I apologise for the lighting. Yeah, it's not very good. But I wanted to show you a haul that I purchased from my local craft shop because I want to knit the Sophie shawl. So I went there to get the, you know, circular knitting needles that I need and the yarn for that. So I believe it's either the 5 or 5.5 circular knitting needles that I need with a length of 80 centimetres. So I purchased 2 of these. One's a 5, one's a 5.5. And then I also purchased, just so I've got it in my stash, a 6mm on 80 centimetre needles as well. These were the only brands that they had available. Eventually I'll invest in, you know, better quality needles, but for now, whilst I'm practicing, you know, I just got these pony versions. So yeah, I've got different size circular knitting needles. I've already got the 7mm circular knitting needles, and that is for my chunky scarf that I'm knitting. And then the yarn that I purchased for my Sophie shawl scarf, what is it called? The Sophie Shaw, I think it is. I purchased this. So not just one ball. I got 6 balls. I'm not going to need all 6. I initially purchased this thinking that I would perhaps knit or crochet a garment out of this. So that's why I bought 6 balls, because then I would clear the amount of meterage that I'd need if I'd made a garment. But then I was looking at it and I thought, I'll make a Sophie scarf. Sophie shawl, whatever it is. You'll know what I mean if you're in the knitting community. So yeah, James C. Brett Aztec with alpaca. So really nice and soft. It's got a little bit of a fuzz to it as well. And this is Aran weight yarn, 90% acrylic, 10% alpaca. And it recommends 5mm needles. I have got 5mm circular knitting needles, and I do think that is what is required for the Sophie shawl. Yeah, I'll have a look at the pattern. I need to buy it still. Yeah, it says 190 meters or 208 yards, and this is in the colour teal, obviously. I think that would be quite nice as, you know, something. Cover that up, hang on. Yeah, I think that would be quite nice as something around my neck. And with the alpaca, it's not too itchy, I don't think. We'll see when I knit it up. I did watch a YouTube video. It wasn't for the whole Sophie shawl pattern, but it was showing you how to start it and how to decrease and increase. Yeah, it showed you all those sort of techniques that you need to know if you want to knit the Sophie shawl. So I watched that and I thought, I think that's something I could do. I just need to purchase the pattern and I can get making. But at the moment, as you have seen, I am crocheting the Magnus cardigan. It's coming along really well. It's crocheting up so quickly. That is also using Aran weight yarn. Obviously, I'll show you more on my podcast episode, which I hope to film next week. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see that cardigan. Yeah, I'll get going and work more on that.